So, damn, Sarge be in my sermon sometimes. God damn, dog, get out. But yeah, he just did a recent video talking about Leslie Jones, and I might expound on that a little bit. But uh, he's been vocal on this whole thing that a lot of sisters do. These rigged contests, these unfair comparisons when we talking about beauty and things of that nature within the diaspora of black women. This was a post on Facebook. It says, "Is it fair that only one of these black women can publicly express how much she loves her skin color without getting bashed by others in the black community?" Right? So, off the bat, I'm trying to be like, yeah, most black folks one drop rule, but I had to go in there and be like, yo, chill, like, come on. But these are the type of things that a lot of sisters tend to do. I don't know why they do this because it doesn't help the argument. It actually kind of pushes people away and not take you serious because the extreme comparison right here, right? But before I get into that, I wanted to read some of the comments real quick for the post that were interesting. Mark Harris, who directed the film Black Coffee that was on Netflix, I don't know if it still is, he's got some dark skin girl promotion in that. But he said, well, that's because both were taught to hate one in favor of the other. If Viola says she loves her dark skin, it's not coming from a place of self-hate and downing the light skin. When one says, I love my light skin, it's because that light skin is closer to white skin, and that stems from self-hate. So, huh? I didn't understand that at all. First of all, she's half white, dog. See, that's the problem when you don't have this classification that mixed people are mixed people and not black. It's confusing, right? She is half white, so she has some white skin in her, right? And side note, it's Paula Patton to me. The older she gets, the more she looks like whoever her white parent is. I don't know which one it is, but the older she gets, she's going in that direction. But yeah, I didn't get that. I was confused. But then he goes on to say that both sisters are beautiful. Another brother says, deep, both should be able to say it, but past pain adds to how people hear it. Another brother says, no, it's not. Both can say whatever they want to say, express love for their skin color. They should. Negroes going to criticize everything and everybody regardless. Paula would definitely get hate mail. So this is a light-skinned woman saying that Paula would get hate mail if she said she loved her skin. And I'm sure if she was identifying as a black woman and not acknowledging that she's half, that could be problematic, I can see. I just want to know if it's okay for dark-skinned people to say, I'm proud of my dark skin, but it's not okay for lighter-skinned people to say, I love my light brown skin. Is it fair? It ain't fair. So people are going back and forth saying, light-skinned people, there's some light-skinned girl tears and some chocolate girl tears in this comment section on the video, whatever. So it's unanimous. But one comment that was from, another brother, Mark Harris again says, why are you not talking about why? Let's stop the BS. Let's talk about the root of the problem, the reason. Stop being scared of your white friends, and let's call a spade and deal with the issue because we were taught everything that is white or closer to white is better. When the light skinned people boast about their light skin and hair, white people, it's always because they were anything closer to white is better. So don't act like our minds weren't poisoned with white supremacy. Damn, I didn't know he was on that, dog. Another woman, Tiffany, the light-skinned chick, responded and said, stop assuming everybody's afraid of white people. That's an insult. You can save yourself sometimes. Sometimes the reason has already been stated, and there's no reason to continue to repeat the same ish over and over again. Mark replies to her and says, okay, just not aware. Take your pick. But a lot of black people still are. Let's keep it real, right? So he's going with the whole reason why this whole conundrum is because self-hate, white supremacy, right? I personally couldn't entertain it because there's an ulterior motive. My comment was simply in this post, if y'all want to do this little experiment, you could have at least used two black women. You could have used a light-skinned black woman, and you could have used a younger, dark-skinned black actress who is attractive and could compete, right? But when you do this this rigged contest, I think it pisses a lot of people off. A lot of people call bull, right? Why are you comparing these two women? One is half black. She's not a black woman. She's biracial. And the other one is an older, dark-skinned black woman who isn't necessarily in anybody's women crush Mondays, right? It's not gonna happen. So I just couldn't entertain it, right? And of course, I had a person respond to my comment about division and all divisiveness and all. You know how that goes. Again, we love the one draw rule and we love to include everybody. Now, that's what I asked. I said, why not use 2 black women for this experiment? And another chick comes on and says, that's some ignorant shit right here. Here's why we can never have any unity. And a guy comes up and says, they are both black. I'm like, okay, but they're not. This was my response to her calling me divisive because I pointed out that Paula Patton is not black. This conversation has nothing to do with unity. It's just fake rigged contest. Whoever created this had other intentions. Why would you compare a young biracial woman to a much older dark black woman? They could have put in an actual black light-skinned actress her age that would have made the point without reaching. Obviously, a lot of black people subscribe to the one draw rule. I don't, but that's not the point. This has nothing to do with our lack of unity. You could have added 2 young actresses, one dark-skinned, one light-skinned, without reaching, and still made the same point. Now, that was my response. And that's where it pretty much ended. But that's the point, though, right? It's like you really was reaching with this picture, and we've seen it before. This is the same group that there was a similar post to this, and the actual author, she has come around on some of these issues, but she was chiming into trying to make the same point, like, like she kept throwing out like K. Michelle and Serena Williams and stuff like that, saying, why don't they get promoted the same way or get the same prestige or whatever as Jennifer Lopez? I'm like, again, you know, K. Michelle is hood, she's ratchet, she got a fake booty, she's not promoted the same way as Jennifer Lopez, right? She's not. It's just the reality is what it is. Same thing goes for Serena Williams, right? 90% of the time when we see Serena is she's smacking the shit out of the balls at 100 miles per hour. She's sweaty, she's growling, her arms is all glistening, and Diesel looking like Dwight Howard after a game. And it's just not appealing, not sexy. That's how we see her the majority of the time. Does she get to clean up every now and then and go on the red carpet? Yeah, but that's not how we see her most of the time. So it's not really a fair comparison to J-Lo, who's been shaking her booty for like 20 years and wearing the short dresses with her little Puerto Rican titties hanging out and stuff like that, and cleavage and whatever. Like, she's been promoted that way since her inception. So why are you comparing people in different fields and different points in their careers and talking about, well, now granted, yes, do women who are lighter skinned, women who are white, will they get more validation and more promotion in the media? Absolutely, because they're more aligned or attached to the dominant culture. So that's just one thing you have to get over. It's like, no, even if black people did establish something that had something for black women, it would never touch or glimpse what they have, right? That's not. We would have to be happy with what we got, right? I'm not saying you can't critique and say stuff is half-assed and all that other stuff. I'm saying if there was something there, it's still, I mean, you say it can compete, but it's still not going to be on that level, right? Of the Oscars or walking down the red carpet or music video or whatever award show she was wearing that green dress with her little tatas out. But I'm saying, like, that's what you would have to build to counter that. And I'm saying, if people don't watch it, if people don't subscribe to it, it's like, it's not going to give you that global validation if it's not caught on. But again, that's the inconsistency with these rigged contests, with these you're a colorist or you're this or that because you don't like this and like that. But no, like, be fair. Pick. And then the funny thing is too is, like, I didn't even know. Well, before I get into that, now one thing I didn't know, because another comment that I skipped over was Adonis said that he thought it was weird, or he couldn't accept any comments from Viola Davis on this topic on colorism because she adopted a biracial daughter that looks more like Paula Patton than like her. Now, I know that's not how the adoption agency works. I'm pretty sure celebrities have, they got the resources to where they can go pick what they want, right? Like, it's not like, because I Googled it because I didn't know if she had a biracial daughter or not. She adopted one, yes. And there's an article, a post, not really an article, on Lipstick Alley asking, why did Viola Davis not adopt a dark-skinned daughter? And I'm like, well, that's a good point, kind of. So that's kind of a good point. And let's contextualize. Let's put it in context, because I didn't watch the dark girls documentary. I guess it's about to do a part 2. I don't know if I'm gonna watch that either. But apparently Viola Davis has been vocal about colorist and not loving herself and all that other stuff and the hatred she's gotten. So for her to go out and adopt a biracial daughter who looks closer to coming out of Paul Patton's womb than hers, I guess you couldn't call that out in being consistencies. Like, she's not only that, but Viola Davis is in a position where she could promote because she has her own production company. So like she's in a position where she can promote her own beauty, and she could, you know, use her platform to uplift her daughter, which she probably will do with her. But she chose a biracial daughter. Now, again, someone's saying like that's not how adoption works. You can't pick and choose. Blah blah blah. That's bull. Why is it that all these white Hollywood liberals who adopt black kids get the blackest kids they can find? They get the real things. And one of the comments says that by and large, when black women are adopting kids in America, the biracial ones and light-skinned ones get picked first. So they perpetuate their own colors and that they cry about. That's interesting though. Like, that brings perspective to the conversation. I didn't know she had a daughter. I didn't know the daughter was biracial, and I didn't know. I mean, I assumed that she was probably, you know, speaking about her issues and her plight, being a dark-skinned woman in Hollywood or whatever, that things of that nature. But that just brings more perspective to the situation. But let's kind of get away from these rape contests though. Like, you know, the funny thing, I was trying to think of a light-skinned black woman who's not biracial, because we talk about people getting replaced and whatnot and displaced and everything, but it does appear to me that biracial mixed race women have replaced the biracial black woman, right? What I mean by that, I don't know any pop-in right now light-skinned black women with two black parents. Like, you know, allegedly China Fox is black, right, with green eyes and shit. Both her parents are black. I'm saying I don't see that, right? The closest thing we got is like Raven. She's not popping, so you can't even count that. But I don't know too many light-skinned, non-mixed black women who are, you know, the thing right now in Hollywood. Most of the women who are light-skinned that are, you know, in a lot of these roles are actually biracial. That's interesting. The chick on Game of Thrones, the chick on Suits, the chick on the Carmichael Show, and then you even have Dinah Ross on Blackish. I mean, Dinah Ross's daughter, Lisa, Tracy Ellis Ross on Blackish. But it's like, I don't know of any really light-skinned chicks. Like, who is today's Tisha Campbell from Martin? I think that's how you say her name. Or the Boris Kudrow's wife, right? Who's another light-skinned black woman who has two black parents. But I don't know any of them by heart. But anyways, that was my point though. You could have just picked two actresses, one dark skin, right? The default is Lupita, right? And then you have, I don't know any light skinned black women who aren't biracial actresses that you know, would be good for this example on top of my head. But that was my point though. You could have did that. You didn't have to go stretch. You didn't have to compare a woman who's like 35 or some shit like that to a woman who's damn near 50, who are, you know, like, just why do that, right? You invalidate your argument, you turn people off. People are going to use this as excuses to be like, you're just tripping and leave me alone. It would have been more sense if you used two women who are actually beautiful. Hey, you don't even go with Viola Davis, or don't even go with Lupita. Go with the sister from Power, the chick who was in 3LW or whatever. Her, use her, right? You don't have to go that. You don't have to go that deep. I think Lupita actually is prettier than her. But yeah, chill with this. Now, personally, I always thought that Paula Patton was Halle Berry's replacement. Her first movie was this Deja Vu with Denzel. That was like pretty big deal for your first time on a film and stuff like that. You on screen with him. And then her second movie was some shitty horror film with Keith Sutherland. Nevertheless, that's still something like, you know, you went from a good actor, allegedly. People hate on Denzel lately saying he plays the same character over and over again. But you go somebody who is an A-lister, right? Then you go to somebody like Keith Sutherland, who's a A-list when it comes to TV acting, not necessarily in theater, or film rather. And you do a movie with him, and then I think she kind of fell off when she started doing too many romantic comedies and stuff like that. She did do Mission Impossible. Halle Berry did James Bond. Those are on equal level playing fields, but it took Halle Berry years to get where she was at and to do what she was doing. It seems like Paula Patton had a lot more options sooner in her career, but I don't know what happened. I don't know if she fixed her teeth. Her voice is kind of annoying, and she drags her words, and then she fixed her teeth too, so that just throws me off of her. But I know a lot of younger dudes we're not feeling her because she is kind of swole. If you watch the one movie she did with the other black dude, he's Puerto Rican, but he plays black in all of his movies. The marriage movie, whatever. Like she was swole. Like she works out definitely. She's not, you know what I mean. Like she got some size to her. And I was watching the movie at my godmother's house, and both my godbrothers were like, ugh, like they weren't finding her attractive because they thought she was too swole and she was too not feminine enough. Well, this is interesting because like she gets to be the feminine, nurturing, light skinned woman in movies and stuff like that, but her physique turns some guys off. So like she's nowhere near as strong or as physical appearance, has the physical appearance of Serena, but there are some younger guys who feel the same way about Paula Patton that men in general feel about Serena Williams. Just she's kind of swole. But I always thought that she was that replacement. I don't know what she did wrong in her career. Did she do too many Tyler Perry type of comedies, whatever, stuff like that, and made her fall off? She did that movie with Common and Who Can't Act for Shit, and Queen Latifah, just wrong because that movie was wrong. You know, one thing that was funny in that movie that I couldn't ponder but like point out is like in the movie, Common told Paula Patton's character that he didn't want her wearing weave; she had to be natural. But he ended up being with Queen Latifah with that big ass red lace front that she be doing her shampoo commercials in. Like I didn't understand how they worked that out. Like that didn't make no damn sense to me. But that's not an issue right now. But that's just my video. I think chicks gotta chill with the red contest. I think when it comes to beauty promotion, you gotta be more decisive on who can get in, and you know, older women gotta get out the way. Stop trying to put them in with younger women and make them compete because it's not cool. I hate that I hear young dudes younger than me, like in their 20s, talking about women who like were hot when I was a kid, still saying, "Oh, like, Angela Bassett, get it?" Like that's nasty, motherfucker. She could be a grandmother. Like no, like she's my mom's age. Like I don't look at her that way. She looked good to me in Malcolm X, and that was like how many years ago? But like, nah, I'm not trying to promote older women. Like we have that issue where we don't replace the women with younger women and have the new up and coming hot thing. We be stuck on old chicks again. The usual suspects. Regina Hall, I think. Regina Hall, not necessarily Megan Good yet because she's not as old as them, but she definitely, I think her problem is she doesn't want to perfect her craft and get better at acting. I don't think she's that great of an actress. She needs to take some classes, do something to get better. But, you know, Sanaa Lathan and all of them, these are women who should be the moms. As Sarge has pointed out in other videos, that they should be the moms of the next up-and-coming girls and stuff like that. In the new future of black film, we should not be making these women old as shit the love interest. People went out and watched the girls trip stuff, and I'm like, we just really watched a bunch of 40, damn near 50-year-old women go out and party, get drunk, and act reckless and stuff like that. Like, nah, like no, like they should all, like Tiffany Haddish is new. I don't know how old she is, but she's new, so she could probably pull off a young chick. But the rest of them gotta go. Like they should not be doing movies like that. Like that should be for the young chicks to do. But that's just my take on it. Also, we're talking about too, like the fat acceptance stuff, as you see right now going viral. One of Usher's accusers, the one who said she gave him the herp, she's getting clowned on social media, partly because she's lied, she's been exposed as a liar, and she's set up, you know, she's got fake identities and all other stuff, and people want to separate that from why she's getting clowned, and they're doing the why is she being fat shamed, why we acting like he can't been the one that hit it. I say he didn't do it with her because not because she's fat, but because she's too young. Usher got a weird ass Oedipus complex. Like he like old chicks, 21. It don't fit his taste, in my opinion. But I hear a lot of this whole people trying to talk about. I just think people have righteous indignation. They want to feel superior, say leave her alone and stop fat shaming her. Like people are having jokes and having fun, right? She put herself out there that she didn't have to do. And she's getting clowned, and there's a possibility that he didn't even touch her like that. And people talking about, well, you know, because she's fat, that doesn't mean that these celebrity men. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. Riddle me this, Batman. Go Google fat chick in a Lamborghini, right? You don't see it, right? They want to make a point that not just successful, high-powered men wife up fat girls, right? They use arguments like, well. And I'm not attacking her and stuff like that, but let's just be realistic about this shit, though, right? When you see wealthy, powerful men come to the red carpet, they're not getting out with Gabrielle Zidane. They're just not doing that. Queen Latifah is not on the bashing side. Even though people have a weird thing with her because they probably like her because of her big ass titties and the fact that they know she's gay and they want to convert her, but that's just a different video. But I'm saying, like, Google portion fat girls, like, you just don't see that shit. It just doesn't happen. So to act like, yeah, because, and women were saying this because, well, the number one downloaded porno is fat girls. I'm like, okay, so because in the dark corner of a room where there's total anonymity, there's dudes beating their meat to fat chicks, like, that's not validation. That's not something to be proud of, right? Because a fat girl could be slept with on the low and nobody tells their boys that it happened. That's not, like, being a side nut should not be the goal of the prize. And some women were making an argument saying, like, yeah, they do get these men, they do pull these men. And I'm like, nah, they really don't. Okay. When they promote you in public and they walk you down the red carpet and they bring you to events and movies and things of that nature, that's how you know you are the standard. This idea that this chick is, you know, and other women like her who trying to defend this nonsense, it's just all this stuff to bring in more stuff that we shouldn't be promoting as a standard of beauty, right? And it offsets women who are actually attractive and look good and stuff like that. There's Facebook groups I'm in where I see the skinny girl shaming, and sometimes the skinny girl be pushing back, and they tired of that shit, right? And this one post is like, it's amazing how PC and like eggshells you have to be on it, because like these women really think they did the shit. And you know, one chick got mad because they posted an article that people have done commentaries on about you know, fat men who marry fat women are happier and all the other nonsense and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, like, to me, it's like what Sarge was saying about, you know, putting Leslie Jones up there, putting Gabrielle Zeta Bay up there, you know, giving that sister Miss America or Miss the pageant, whatever, at that university when she was overweight and not appealing. Like, they do that shit on purpose. It's not to you know what I mean? Like, they don't want. Now, I would say Fox, out of all places, they do a great job of offsetting the white women, right? The View doesn't do it. A lot of liberal networks don't do it. But Fox definitely they have Ebony Williams. They have Harrison Faulkner, Danilo Boyle. They have decent-looking, attractive black women who offset all the Beckys on their show, right? And Fox News is about, you know, selling sex, too. When they have their female reporters, obviously, they harass them, too. But they do a good job of offsetting the white women. A lot of other media outlets don't do that. When you look at The View, you had Whoopi Goldberg, you had Joy, you had Shirley, I forgot her name. You know, the lady had all the abortions. You had her. And then you had Raven Simone, who's just a weirdo, right? But then you had Elizabeth Hasselbeck, and you had the chick from Fuller House. It's like, yeah, like I think they do that shit on purpose. Even when you look at the talk, like, you got Lonnie, and then you got Tia and Tamara, whatever's going on. I don't know who is who. You got the Puerto Rican chick from Cheetah Girls that's, I thought, all over Hollywood. And then you got Tamar Braxton, who looks like Fraggle Rock. But, you know, it's like that happens a lot, right? I'm saying Sarge is correct that you have to be decisive on who you let in and who you promote as the standard of beauty. It seems, I remember there's an article after Formation happened, and a big girl was mad at Beyonce because, you know, she didn't put fat girls on the Formation. She was upset that she put a trans person on that panel, but didn't put a fat girl. And I'm like, everything ain't about you, though, right? Like, I mean, I get it. She wants to hold, again, they believe in this intersectionality and inclusivity and all that other bull, and they hold people accountable to think should do certain things, but that shit was not for you, right? Everything can't be for you. Sometimes you gotta stay in your lane and chill. It ain't being rude or being disrespectful. It just is what it is. That's my video.